We've reached the conclusion of this unit with one final lesson, which is on pay statements. This is something that all of you will experience when you are working for a company or employer. You will be given a pay statement, which basically is a record of how much you were paid for a certain pay period or certain dates. And it also shows, crucial information about your name and your address and so on and so forth. It may show, who you work for, but also it shows you basically how you go from gross earnings to net earnings. And this is a very, very simple example. And some people will have such a complicated earning statement. It's crazy, but in a basic sense, it's important to understand what are you looking at here, okay? So most of this, is very, very simple. Of course, you're going to have a person's name. Of course, it would have your full name. It would have the company that you work for. This right here simply states the dates that you are being paid for. So in this case, it's a span of 1 week. In many cases, you're given an ID number for who you work for. It may or may not have, your job title, what you do. It may have the address of where you work. This is your rate of pay. Now again, in this case, they are giving you an hourly rate. It might say something there like $5,000 per month. Of course, this is going to change based on how you are paid. Are you paid piecework, commission, etc., etc.? So you can see there are lots of opportunities for this pay statement to become much, much more complicated. Hours and earnings. It looks to me, if you read this description, regular. So that means this person did not work overtime and they earn $19 an hour. I assume this is going to be a question that we have to figure, but they did not tell us the hours that were worked. And this person's gross earnings were $712.50. Now, in most cases, this is gross earnings. A pay statement will also show you all of the deductions, and that's missing in this example. So they'd show you here, you have your gross earnings, which of course never goes into your bank. They would have all of your deductions, and it would end up going until you see your net pay. And that is also going to be on your pay statement. So again, this is a very simplified example. If you were to look up an example of a pay statement, I'm sure you can see some that are very, very much more complicated and show how a person goes from gross earnings to net income or net pay. So let's see here. It looks like they want us to use this example to answer some questions. What is the hourly rate of pay? Well, that's pretty straightforward. This person earns $19 an hour. How many days does the pay period cover? That should be 1 week or 7 days, okay? From the 13th to the 19th. Be careful, that is 7 days that it covers, because remember, if you count it out, the 13th is a day, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, and the 19th. That is 7 days. This one here, they want you to figure out that, how many hours were worked. Well, the gross income was $712.50. And we know that this person makes $19 per hour. So if you go $712.50 divided by $19 per hour, you get 37.5 hours. Again, the math is not so difficult, but I think it's important that you are introduced to what a pay statement is. And I really do advise that you check out other examples of maybe some more complicated ones. And I really want to say again that a more complicated pay statement will show your gross earnings, and it will show you a list of all of your deductions and how you get down to your net pay. It's a very, very interesting topic that I wish we had more time to delve into. Anyway, I'll give you a chance now to practice with a few questions, and we will move on.